I'm Jennifer Markides, SSHRC Canada Research Chair in Indigenous Youth Wellbeing and Education. I am engaged in community-based research with several Indigenous communities across the province of Alberta and as far away as the Yukon. We ask the community leaders what they want to know from the youth, and we work together to create the questions and follow up on what the youth want. For me, this is the most important work we can be doing in education, is creating space for the teachings that have been lost or oppressed due to legacies of colonization, legacies of residential schools, Indian Act, other oppressive policies. Because we're focusing on the things that the youth want in their education, which is to learn their language and their culture, we're focusing on those strength-based areas, and it's getting the Indigenous youth through the door. They're coming to school, they're engaged, they're excited to be there. It's our responsibility in reconciliation to have these things taught as education. It's unrealistic to expect communities to work towards language revitalization outside of school. It needs to be done as school.
So my name is Wendy Nanuch. I work for the Vermilion School Division. I am a success coach. I do cultural programming for our students, and I also do in-home support for Indigenous families. And our community is very assimilated. A lot of our culture has been lost, the language and the teachings. With Jennifer's grant, it has opened more doors for us to bring in our knowledge keepers and our elders and build those connections and give our students more of the teachings that are needed. What Jennifer did in our schools is she did interviews with the students, and she asked those students, what would you want to see in your school? One of the biggest things that they mentioned were language. Loss of language is huge in our area. Without the culture, we're all a little bit lost. We just need everything that was taken from us to be given back to us. And I think the best place to do that is to start in the school, right from kindergarten, all the way up to grade 12.
My name is Lane Morin. I'm from Northern Alberta, a small little community called Fort Vermilion. And I'm a grade 12 student graduating this summer. Culture is like a huge part of who you are, like your language, your food, stuff like that. And if you don't know your culture, I feel like you almost feel lost, like you don't know who you are. Our community had a day school, so people's parents, grandparents, they were attended. There was like a lot of like shame instilled in them, and they never grew up with their culture. They never passed it down to their children.
And in turn, the survivors, which is myself, my wife, and then my generation as well, weren't taught the language. So now our generation has to bring back the language. That's how I see it as an instructor. That's my focus.
Because a lot of people say the language is dying. A woman stood up and she said, no, our language is not dying, it's sleeping. So what we need to do is we need to wake up the language. So we went back to our school and we told our kids the same thing. Our language is not dying. My husband said the way we say wake up in Cree is Wanska. So we asked the kids to say it and they all yelled Wanska to wake up the language. I'm excited to see them in grade 12, and if they're conversing with each other, if like they're walking through the hallways and they're able to speak to each other in our language. We want them to grow up and be proud and Indigenous people. Don't hang your head. You're beautiful, you're strong.
Anytime we can create space within the education system to have teachings by Indigenous people, for Indigenous people, as education is us acting in the ways that we can towards reconciliation. When we made teepees with all the grads in both Fort Vermilion and Rocky Lane, one of the superintendents stood in the doorway and said, "This is community healing."